They're tough guys, but some police officers saw something that freaked them out and they captured it on camera.
I told my mom I thought I saw a werewolf, and my mom believed me.
That was no dog. That was too big to be a dog.
It can become many things: a fox, a coyote, a wolf. There are these recorded stories of bipedal creatures that are walking around with wolf-like heads. The locals on the reservation, they won't talk about it. Even mentioning the name invites these things in.
Be it camping or just enjoying time in nature, you can never know of its dark side until you get to see and experience them firsthand. Here are some of the most horrifying camping experiences that were caught on camera. Humans have always been eager to spot and track a Sasquatch, but this time, the tables get turned on this guy. A Bigfoot enthusiast shared a clip on his TikTok showing a giant, hairy being keenly following him, while the man kept his cool, pretending not to notice and casually walking. According to him, he was exploring the area after hearing numerous reports of Sasquatch activity, hoping to capture one on camera. Though this one appeared peaceful, it's impossible to know how it might have reacted in a face-to-face confrontation, with the outcomes that wouldn't be pretty. Peeping mystery wolf. This could be anything from a rabid canine to a werewolf that made its presence known after peeping for a while. A man who, after losing his way in the forest of Wisconsin, found himself being bothered by this scary canine that was peeping him from behind a tree only a couple meters away. The visible shiny eyes and its wild nature left the recorder in fear of his life while he was attempting to make his way out of the forest. Thankfully, the man was able to make it out unscathed, but definitely had one of the scariest encounters ever. Abandoned cabin skinwalker. What makes skinwalkers most terrifying is their constant physical presence, unlike spirits. During a routine investigation, a crew of paranormal investigators noticed a limping skinwalker and decided to follow it. The creature led them to an abandoned cabin, where the investigators decided to take a closer look. As they entered, they were met with the screeching roar of the troubled figure, now on all fours, which immediately sent them running and initiated a chase. The creature's privacy and personal space had been violated, resulting in this terrifying encounter.
Get up! Come on.
Demonic figure. The appearance of this entity itself is much more terrifying than any witch could ever be. A TikTok user found and filmed this very bizarre-natured figure with an unsettling-looking face, having huge black eyes and a mouth with a large twisted nose, as if the poor face was horribly mangled. The source didn't hang around for obvious reasons, which leaves this demonic figure unrecognized. However, he believes that this could have been a physical appearance of a supernatural being. Odd-looking cryptid. It's not just the incredibly small size, but also the shape of these mysterious beings that leaves you questioning their nature. While testing a newly purchased night vision camera, the user accidentally found and recorded a tiny yet curious cryptid that was spotted peeking from the side of the tree. To make the matter worse, its head was completely flat, with a face that was almost not visible. At the time, the source didn't spot this tiny, odd-looking cryptid until later, when the footage was being reviewed. Dragon cobra. Snakes usually are feared, either by the size or their lethal dose of venom they carry. This one has to be the most terrifying looking snake. A team of snake experts were called in to sack a large snake that appeared on the outskirts of a village in the Indian city of Bhopal. Now, despite having years of experience catching snakes, even they were baffled seeing this snake, having never seen anything like it before. It had a pair of huge horns coming out of its head, along with a face that was much bigger than a typical snake, almost like that of a dragon. Hence, it was given the name Dragon Cobra. Evil Hagrid. If the presence of a Bigfoot hasn't scared anyone, the existence of this evil Hagrid might. A Bigfoot hunter was strolling past the woods of Michigan hours after the presence of a Bigfoot was reported. After exploring the said area for a while, the search party noticed a large, dark figure that had a visible face with a huge beard and hair all in black. Unlike the Bigfoot, its body wasn't as hairy and gave off a different vibe. Interestingly, it matched the description of the fictional Harry Potter character Hagrid, only this one didn't seem to be very friendly or a well-wisher in any way. Haunting Witch. Judging from the condition of this witch, it almost looks like this witch is cursed with years of witchcraft. A small family was enjoying a few days in nature at a rented cabin home in British Columbia, Canada, when one of the parents noticed a terrifying figure that was standing next to their vehicle and looking towards their child, who was playing around. Seconds into the clip, the haunting witch that looks to be quite tall randomly points in a direction towards the vehicle, which nobody understood the meaning of. It could either be asking for something, or it was giving some kind of a warning. Fur-covered tribe. Tribes such as these usually choose to remain uncontacted, but this one, however, didn't mind a curious tourist. This footage soon went viral after it was uploaded in January 2024, showing a number of tribesmen wearing hairy animal hide as the recorder documents them closely. The nature of this tribe has not yet been identified, or is probably discovered for the first time. Viewers, however, started calling them to be the Manti tribesmen, but nothing's confirmed as of yet. The location was never shared and remains undisclosed to avoid any unnecessary crowd from rushing to the area. Mystical Crawler. If it's this close, has shiny eyes, and is quite slow, any sane person wouldn't want to underestimate its true potential. A group of hikers on a trail in Oregon's forest discovered this crippled crawler that was so interested that it started chasing them after stalking them from a distance. Having a set of night vision cameras to use in the dark, they decided to record this mystery crawler, being only a couple of meters away from it. No one's been able to know or identify its nature, though many viewers and Reddit users speculated it from being a mummy to a possessed scarecrow. Beast in dark. You can never know the true potential of a beastly being, which makes an encounter with it far more fearsome. A cabin owner that was spending a couple days in nature had his sleep interrupted in the dead of night when he discovered the source to be this, a beastly creature that trespassed his private property, either in search of food or just plain curiosity. Having a reinforced metal gate safeguarding the cabin from wild animals, he decided to use a powerful flashlight to get a good look at it. Within moments, the beast jumped from a concrete slab that scared away the owner. Humanly unhuman walker. Even though zombies aren't known to exist in real life, this one had all the vibes surrounding it to be an actual one. Two paranormal investigators were exploring a long-abandoned cabin by the woods in India, where they spotted this humanoid walker that appeared out of the blue in the darkness. It was struggling to walk, being in a weak and malnourished condition as it appeared. Investigators attempted to communicate with it while maintaining distance, which it didn't respond to, and remained in the dark. Within a matter of a couple of seconds, the walker suddenly started to speed up, where the footage cuts off as the investigators start running. Chased by Skinwalker. Wild animals aren't the only ones that you have to be on the lookout for in the forest. A group of youths were passing through the forest late at night when they stopped, and one of them got out to take a leak. Suddenly, an unknown figure in the dark attempted to jump on one of them and was partially caught on camera. The noise and panic quickly drew the attention of his friends, who rushed to his aid and helped him back to the car before they all fled the area. Although it was too dark to have a good look at the perpetrator, the camera did manage to capture a brief glimpse of it. Rushing Dogman. A dog man may suspiciously look to be something that's made up until you see this. A wildlife enthusiast was heading to a forest in Arkansas in hopes to place a trail camera to monitor animal activity in the area. On his way, he encountered this scary-looking creature that appeared from within the pitch darkness of the forest and looked at the recorder. It had a hard, black, wolf-like head and appearance, while the rest of its body was completely different. It was named a dog man, which is often described in folklore and urban legends as a bipedal creature with the body of a muscular man and the head of a dog or wolf. Crawling rake. Of all the creatures that come out during the night, this is the least kind that anyone could have expected. A low-quality trail camera was placed deep into a bushy forest, where it partially caught a folklore creature called the rake that made an appearance as it was passing by. The rake is a mythical creature from creepypastas and urban legends, described as a humanoid with pale skin, large eyes, and elongated fingers. It is said to appear at night, often near homes or in forests, inducing fear and terror in those who encounter it. Its origins were thought only to be internet-based, with this footage being factual evidence. Ghostly ogre. Unlike the Bigfoots, skinwalkers, and rake creatures, no one's ever claimed to see an ogre until this one came up. A casual stroller in a wooded area was passing by for unknown reasons while recording when he suddenly came across an ogre that looked quite ghostly or possessed. It remained stationary despite getting spotted, while the source, out of fear, fled from the scene, leaving the true nature of this entity a mystery. Skinwalker on trail. Whether you call it aliens, demons, or monsters, they typically use the cover of darkness, but this one didn't seem to get the memo. During a morning walk in Nicaragua, this recorder was out for a jog until he encountered this extraterrestrial being that was standing in the middle of a secluded trail. In a sudden turn of events, the creature too seemed to be surprised after being spotted and began pelting the recorder with rocks before swiftly escaping. The video's viral spread prompted skepticism, with many dismissing it as a hoax, while believers dubbed the being the Skinwalker. Tiny cryptids at work. Seems like these tiny beings that were only thought to be folklore are now making appearances quite often. A camper was gathering firewood in the dense forest of Chile when he spotted two tiny cryptids that seemed to be working. One of them was on a higher ground and could be seen carrying dozens of tiny stones, tossing them one after the other towards the other tiny cryptid, who was receiving them, probably to build themselves a shelter. At the same time, both were using sign language of their own to communicate between each other. Existing tiny sauropod. Either the dinosaurs haven't all gone extinct, or there were some eggs that remained frozen but are now hatching. A large group of these long-necked sauropods was seen in the wild by a bystander and was baffled by the appearance and recorded on the camera. The flock of juvenile sauropods that came from the tree line without the appearance of any adult has left the recorder, and most viewers believing that these eggs were either frozen and now finally hatched, or that these tiny dinosaurs do actually exist in nature, but have been hidden. Tree-born skinwalker. Unlike wild animals, you can never know as to what could be the intentions of a skinwalker. A lone camper lost his way back to the camp after looking for a source of a distressing noise in the pitch darkness of the woods. Having only a flashlight at his disposal, he was trying to find the source of the sound. In doing so, he discovered a human-like entity that was sitting on the side of the tree, almost as if it was preparing itself to lunge at him. Before anything like that could happen, the lost camper immediately turned around and fled for his life. Humanoid river ghost. After hearing rumors of paranormal activity near a river in Cambodia, a group of investigators decided to check it out. The area is said to be haunted by the souls of those who tragically died there. Through their flashlight, they saw what looked like a person sitting on the shore. Concerned, they approached to investigate and found a human-like entity. It sat idly until it turned to reveal a swollen, bloated face, creating an eerie atmosphere. Despite their proximity, it didn't budge until it suddenly entered entered the river and disappeared. Snake with hair job. Either this was some monk about its species, or just a snake that had a knack for fashion. A farmer in Vembe, South Africa, found this weird snake on his farm that didn't just have hair, but was toned in a stylish manner. It mostly looks like a cobra, meaning it might be venomous, and the farmer was still curious enough to have a touch over its hair. Although the white hair makes it look quite old, its reflexes were just as good as the average snake. While most doubt about its hair being real, others believe it to be an effect of evolution. The Walking Dead. If the existence of zombies might not seem to be a thing of reality, it certainly doesn't mean they can't ever exist. A TikTok user shared footage of his encounter with a zombified entity face to face, only separated by a fence. From the infection wounds all over its face, the completely white shaded eyes, and sharp teeth, along with the behavior, it all pointed towards the strong possibility of it being an actual zombie. According to the source, one of his neighbors was quite sick and suffering from an unknown disease before starting to look and behave like this. Out of safety concern, he was fenced around while the location remained undisclosed.
Ow.
Attic creature. These guys just unlocked a whole new level of fear, the attic fear. In the middle of the night, two friends heard a strange knocking sound in the house. They tried to ignore it, but the noises only got louder, so they decided to finally check it out. One of them grabbed a broom just in case, while the others started filming. Following the sound, they realized it was coming from the attic. Carefully, one of them lifted the attic door. What they saw, they would never forget. As they peered into the opening, a pale-colored entity soon emerged, scaring them to their core. They bolted out of there as fast as they could. No one ever found out what happened to them, or what that creature really was. Group-like creature.
See that thing right there? It's creeping me out.
A family of 3 from Virginia ventured into a nearby forest for a trek and encountered an unusual sight. A tall, tree-like figure that seemed to be observing them. Hours after entering the forest, the parents felt an eerie sense of being followed. To their surprise, they came across the same tree-like creature again, despite having moved a considerable distance, raising their suspicions. Strangely, the tree being left no discernible footprints and remained motionless until they observed it moving slowly. This curious phenomenon led them to wonder whether the tree had somehow come to life, or if it might be an extraterrestrial visitor from another world.
I lived here for going on 7 years.
Hiding Bigfoot. The Bigfoot may have used the darkness and distance to keep themselves from being seen, but this one, however, was cornered. This compelling video was uploaded by the YouTube channel Squatch Watchers back in November 2023, showing a Bigfoot that was desperately hiding behind a tree. It appeared to be using the tree as cover while curiously glancing around. Without a doubt, its appearance perfectly matched the typical description of a Bigfoot, making it a rare sight where the Bigfoot was caught off guard. Crawling ghost chase. This was another trail camera that was placed to monitor animal activity in the area, and only to capture the unexpected. In it, a girl dressed in heavy-set clothing, probably for some mega event, appears running in distress, where a couple of seconds later, an entity partially appears behind her. It randomly stops several feet from the camera, almost as if this crawling ghost somehow discovered a recording trail camera planted in the way. It looked to be quite huge in both height and width, along with its hair visible. Unfortunately, since it never got close enough, no one was able to see or know what this was. Crashed alien discovered. Get ready to view some declassified footage of an alleged alien craft crash site. This clip was reportedly recorded after a UFO crashed near a river in Brazil. After being held by the government for so long, the clip was finally leaked. leading many to hope for answers. Instead, it raised even more questions. The footage shows an alien figure standing in the rain, attempting to block its face from the camera. Its brownish skin and short stature fit the description of a gray alien. So, do you think this alien was real? Or was it just another mysterious earthly being from folklore? Changing Bigfoot behavior. For the past couple decades, Bigfoot remained on the sidelines no matter the case, which seems to be changing now. A camper planted a trail camera on his tree after having suspected of being stalked by an animal or entity in his camp. To his surprise, the camera recorded a Bigfoot that was seen very close to the tree line next to his tent, before randomly it started to rip apart the trees surrounding the tent, with a couple of them nudging the tent pretty hard. In concern for his safety, he decided to wait it out. Minutes later, as he tried to confront the Bigfoot, it started tossing pieces of branches towards him in a way to scare him off. Forest anomaly. This was either a genuine request for a ride or something tailing that was meant to be scary. A driver that was passing through a forest road in pitch darkness noticed a dark and very unrecognizable figure that appeared in front of him by the tree line. It was facing towards the driver as if it was expecting his arrival, or perhaps was asking for a ride. It looks to be in the shape of a man that was wearing something shiny and holding a small, glowing object in its hand. Now, regardless of what it was, along with its intentions, that driver was smart enough to not have stopped. Obese Bigfoot. It seems inevitable that something like this would eventually surface, especially in America. During hunting season, a hunter was out looking for a prize when he spotted an extraordinarily muscular Bigfoot marching openly on a trail road. Given its size and build, the creature clearly had no fear of being seen. The hunter, however, took precautions and maintained a safe distance. According to him, this sighting occurred only a couple of miles away from the nearest McDonald's, which, one has to say, might not be a coincidence. Demon Land. What is that? As insane as paranormal investigators can be to visit the spookiest places, this one here left us with an awesome video. A small team of paranormal investigators decided to visit a haunted area, its location undisclosed despite repeated warnings from locals. They soon encountered a demon with visible wings, accompanied by its minions, and they realized their mistake. As they continued, they ran into several more demons, nearly surrounding them and narrowing their chances of escape. Fortunately, they managed to find their way out in time, probably with an experience strong enough for them to rethink their paranormal future. Ghostly red Indian figure. With the empty tree trunk being really tall and the figure behaving nothing like a human, clearly it's giving off some suspicious vibes. A ranch owner in an undisclosed location in Idaho filmed and shared this footage, showing a humanoid that was found sitting on top of a tree trunk. Interestingly, it could be best described as a Native American, who may have climbed his way up to get a good look over the area. Now, regardless if this was an ancient, actual Native American, or some ghostly figure having possessed one, the spectator decided not to take any action and just wait it out. Watching extraterrestrial. After those decades of UFO landings, it's not just the creatures of folklore that blend in and surveil from vegetation. While trekking through the mountain forest of Colorado, an explorer stopped an alien-like entity that was watching him from the side of a rocky mountain wall covered in vegetation. Though it didn't move a muscle, its silhouette and the different skin color made it easily recognizable. This alien was either spying, being a scout for its kind, or that this one was just left behind and was lost. Peru's face peeler. In the remote Peruvian jungle, villagers have reported being terrorized by an alleged face-peeling alien. The frightened locals, members of the Yakitu indigenous people in the rural district of Alto Nanay, northeast of Lima, claim they are confronted nightly by aggressive flying beings that are difficult to describe. One of these encounters was captured on video. The extraterrestrials are described as having large heads and yellowish eyes, with villagers asserting they've been victims of these beings for months. Authorities suggest that these sightings may actually be illegal gold miners using jetpacks, but the mystery remains unsolved. Ghost silhouette. The disappearing and reappearing nature of this entity speaks volumes about its mysterious nature. While hiking in the Colorado wilderness, one hiker accidentally filmed an entity that appeared out of nowhere, walking casually before vanishing seconds later. Although most hikers didn't see it, those who did only noticed it through their camera. Its exact nature remains unknown. It could be anything from a ghost or spirit to an invisible life form from an extra-dimensional universe. Hybrid animal species. Although there's no such thing as hybrid species, it is also the only possible explanation for this clip. A video that was shared anonymously showed an animal covered in dark fur that, from some angles, seemed to be an ape, while a canine on the other. It was filmed running after the recorder, who was passing through a forest trail road. It looked quite huge in size, with lengthy arms and legs that can be seen. It seems like a werewolf, but with no further information included by the uploader, not much more can be said about the animal, aside from wild speculation. Possible demon monkey.
Do you see that?
If you've played Temple Run, this furry figure might seem familiar. While prepping their equipment for a video shoot in Alberta, Canada's forest, a camera crew spotted a spooky, unfriendly, yet familiar-looking creature observing them from several meters away. Initial thoughts suggested it might have been a Sasquatch, but it appeared quite different. After the footage was uploaded online, many Temple Run fans began labeling it as the Demon Monkey due to its striking resemblance to the game's creature.
I'm afraid.
Possessed witch stranded.
¡Venga tu madre!
After fervent involvement in witchcraft, this witch seems to have faced the consequences of her actions. In a dramatic turn of events in Latin America, an exorcist, with the help of local residents, managed to corner the witch, who appeared to be possessed by a spirit in an underground concrete pit. With the witch trapped, the exorcist began the process of exorcism to free her from the spiritual influence. As footage of this incident emerged only a few days ago, many details remain unclear.
No la estamos molestando, vimos que se cayó y queríamos venir a auxiliarla.
Large trail spider. Human-sized spiders have typically been confined to Hollywood movies. Until now. In April 2023, a trail camera was set up in a forest that captured one of the spookiest sized spiders ever to be seen on camera. Just by the footage, it looked to be a very large spider that suddenly appeared as it was climbing the tree where the camera was mounted. The spider moved back and forth just above the lens, revealing its extremely long limbs and broad body that experts believe to be the biggest ever seen. The exact nature of this spider species remains unidentified. Can you imagine being jumped by one of these creatures while installing or retrieving the camera? Uninvited terror.
I'm hearing the things in my woods again. I don't know if you can hear the noise.
This young man, who had finally laid down on his bed after a long day at work, was forced to get up after hearing strange voices coming from outside of his house. Curious to know what was causing a disturbance at this hour, the guy took the matter into his own hands and went out to check the intruder. To his surprise, it was not a person, but something else with an alien-like head, glowing eyes, and uncanny posture.
What the heck is that? Oh my God!
Leaving him shivering. He was super scared to say what it was. He thought it might be a rake, or maybe even an alien. Well, no one knows. Dark Tracker. This pedestrian got the biggest shock of his life after he met this eerie sight. Walking on his way back home late at night, he suddenly felt something was stalking him from the shadows, and a nerve-wracking feeling ran through his body as he took out his camera and started recording. Once he saw the eerie being emerging out of thin air, he knew that it was neither a person nor an animal. Its hunched over back and abnormally long arms made it look like an extraterrestrial being. Now, what on earth was this creature, and why was it stalking people moving around? Terra Incognita. Now, my question is that if this woman was so scared of adventures, what was she doing driving all alone at night? Here's the story. Losing the right exit on the highway turned a perfect drive into a terrifying incident for this woman. She was so panicked that she lost her way and was now stuck in an unknown place. Well, the night had some other plans for her too. A strange beast decided to visit her. The figure's unnatural gait and haunting presence made her realize that it was not a normal thing. And what's next? There was no better option than slamming her car into reverse and running from the scene. I'm pretty sure she's never trying new routes next time. Help gone wrong. For this video, plug in those headphones of yours, because it's all about hearing this strange noise. Similar to us all, this man was also confused after hearing strange sounds during their camping. The tourists thought it was some poor animal asking for help. Deciding who would go to look for it, one brave man went into the dark shadows, who knew it was not the call of some needy animal, but rather of their last moments. As soon as the guy reached it, the worst ever sounds were heard coming from it. It was not some normal animal. The intruder realized his mistake of having entered this den of danger and ran back to his group, waiting outside. Alien March. Recorded at an unknown location was this strange white figure walking, having incomplete facial features and no hands. The life form made everyone wonder what was really going on. While viewers were stuck on thinking, the creature continued showing motion by walking on its long, weird legs. But wait, that's not the end of it. There follows another similar creature walking at some distance, but in the same direction, moving their flawed bodies on the odd, extended legs. Both the unidentified creatures swiftly past the camera. To me, they looked like marching alien sticks. However, nothing much is known about these unknown walking objects. Camera munching. This wolf took the camera disgust to another level. Or was it that it was just hungry? Captured in the mountains of northeastern Washington state, a wild wolf, after watching deeply into the camera, decided to do nothing normal but chew it. Nothing much could be stated about this clip, as one could only see the horrific view from inside its mouth. But here's another of this kind who first grabbed the camera into its mouth, and then, not in the mood to eat it now, took a bite of it. However, when the detailed chewing session could not spoil the metallic body of the camera, the wild predator left the device and walked away. Clearly, that wasn't what the animal was expecting. Despondent shade. The mysterious night and dense woods are always ready to reveal such uncanny beings, whose presence leaves us distressed. Filmed by a security guard, the short clip shows a strange, pale figure sitting in the thick forest. At first, it was really confusing to know what it was, but then the figure looked back to show its ashen face with spooky, glowing eyes, and stared right into the soul of its discoverer. Was it some skinwalker or another humanoid life form lamenting over life? Nothing much about the clip could be explained, as it suddenly stopped making everyone curious about it. Unfamiliar dread. This footage, recorded 2 years back in Oregon's woods, has its reason to be strange, as it opens with the appearance of a strange black humanoid that could be seen walking effortlessly through the snowy ground, and then disappearing behind the dense group of pine trees. At first, it was assumed to be a human, but it was not normal for humans to walk this accurately on snowy land. Also, I've never seen a human having a body this beastly, although local authorities have declared that it was an alleged Bigfoot sighting. However, that is yet to be confirmed if it was a Bigfoot, or perhaps any other humanoid beast wandering around. Metaphysical wanderer. Exploring a haunted forest to find something strange in the middle of the night, the adventure of a young explorer turned out to be his biggest nightmare, as his flashlight showed him a secondary figure that was keeping an eye on him while hiding behind one of the trees. Although the creature appeared just for a few seconds, it left everyone puzzled as people were still trying to identify it. Its pale figure, with a shapeless head placed on a long neck, didn't match any normal human features. And did you look at its long, slender limbs? If I were to ask my opinion, I would simply title it as an unworldly life form exploring our planet at night. But what do you all think of it? No cameras allowed. Do you still believe that it's only the mythical creatures that come out at night to investigate? Next up, we have this very strange footage that shows something with a dog-like head trying to take charge of a trail camera. After using its forelimbs to unfasten the camera, he might have called himself an idiot for not using his mouth, because look at it now, this time trying to grab the camera with its mouth. In most cases, it is feared that their jaws can smash down the camera completely, but as this video suddenly ended, I'm not so sure what might have happened to the camera. It's as if the entity did not like being recorded and wanted others to respect its privacy. Yeti turning ruthless. 6 years back in North America, locals woke up to experience the most unbelievable sight of their lives. On the ground, covered with white sheets of snow, they discovered an unusual series of mysterious, large footprints that definitely didn't belong to any normal person. Following the lengthy trail of puzzling feet measuring 4 to 6 feet in length, a team of brave hunters decided to go out to investigate into the woods. They were still looking around when suddenly a giant, furry monster showed up. The monster had pieces of the camp in its hands like it was saying, "Stay away!" And now, this is what I don't like about these recordings. It just stops right there when the Yeti tried to jump on the person with the camera. Camera chomper. This time, not a trail cam, but a GoPro became a target for a large, curious feline. After ambushing the camera mounted at the back of a Jeep, the lioness decided to get closer. And guess what? It opened its mouth to grab the camera through its powerful jaws. After a successful camera robbery, the big cat quickly made off and could be seen running fast, far away from the owner. It took the camera somewhere in the bushes and started chewing with its sharp, pointed teeth. All we could see was a detailed view into its mouth. However, after realizing the object was not any typical flesh, the hungry animal spewed it out. Mighty Man. A relaxing hike in the forest turned into the most horrific nightmare when this man came across an abandoned building. He first thought it would be fun to explore the empty area and get some interesting footage, but he was not completely alone there. Just as he moved a bit closer, he found a human-like thing sitting with its head down, and without any warning, it charged at the man, and he escaped from the scene. For sure, the way it moved all mysteriously and its super pale color wasn't like any regular person. Smacking off. Now this is for sure some bear trying to get the camera removed from its area. A few years back in Japan, a camera was unfortunate enough to be seen by this wild animal who hated the idea of it. And if they don't like it, they will remove it. After all, they have that natural place to rule. The camera started shaking as if struggling for its existence, but the remover was in no mood for sympathy. Better luck to these CCTV cameras next time. Blitzing attacker. I bet this man will never go on adventures next time. He was out there making a video and enjoying a good time when he suddenly saw something weird coming out from the grass. At first, the man did not bother much, thinking of it as a monkey or another critter of its kind. But then it stood up, and oh, that definitely was not a normal animal. It had a white face with long hair and a whole black beastly body moving defensively. As he feared, it started chasing the person. But don't worry, the individual did get away super fast and made it to safety. Phantom smoke. Though not caught on camera, the deer's cautious movements hinted at some other entity existing around. The animal, while walking peacefully, suddenly stopped, as if seeing something bizarre. The deer stopped and looked around for a moment, and even though we saw only a bit of smoke, animals like deer have a knack for sensing things we can't see. Sensing something otherworldly, the deer quickly retreated from the area, trusting its instincts to keep safe. Man, I didn't realize deer had protective instincts like dogs. Dogman of Tennessee. Last April, a guy who hunts for Sasquatch watched a video from a feeding spot in Tennessee. What he saw, though, was something really creepy. Among the trees, a dark shape stood against the greens and was in an urge to avoid any appearance. Now at first, he thought it was Sasquatch, but when the man looked closer, what he saw was a scary snout poking through the leaves. After he made the video steadier, he realized it was a dogman watching him from behind. That's right, a real dogman. It all just made me wonder if such creatures do really exist. Tree thumper. An unbelievable moment was captured 2 years back when a team of scientists set up a trail cam to record some wildlife species. Instead of attracting any rare animal, the trail cam unfortunately grabbed the attention of an aggressive woodpecker who was not happy with this new addition on the trunk. Looking directly into the lens, it started pecking the camera and repeatedly pecked it until it was destroyed. Pecking to make a hole for a new nest, or just finding some dinner to eat? Well, whatever the reason, it made me wonder about the power of that pointed beak of theirs. Albino Bigfoot. For centuries, these iconic Bigfoot creatures have amazed many people, and this man here just got to film it. That too just a few meters away from his house. So the story is that in Carbondale, Pennsylvania, a homeowner, after hearing loud thuds, went outside to find the cause. And to his surprise, it was no man or animal, but a mysterious-looking giant. Having pale white skin with inhuman features, the figure terrified the man, who quickly returned back home and reported the nearby security. It was revealed that there had been 2 sightings of such an animal in the area prior. Was it some undiscovered species, or a Bigfoot for real? Bear chasing horses. The video opens with a group of wild horses running crazily, leaving behind nothing but a huge cloud of dust in the woods of Alberta. A white foal could also be seen following the group members, rushing for their lives. Then, suddenly from the dusty background, appeared a huge and hungry grizzly bear chasing the group. The horses passed one camera with the bear following at full sprint. However, it was not clear whether the bear was successful in his chase, because in the second view, the bear could only be seen trying to get closer to the group. Perhaps his target could be the young horse. The Legend of Skunk Ape. Almost 2 decades back in the tropical wetlands in the state of Florida, a giant, hairy, man-like beast was filmed roaming fearlessly in an open field of the Everglades. This natural land was home to many elusive and mysterious skunk apes, the southernmost relative of Bigfoot, like a Yeti or a Sasquatch. So it was assumed to be a skunk ape that stands 8 feet tall and weighs roughly 450 pounds. Some people also claim to see the same creature there at nighttime. Maybe it was some kind of primate that was running around, or probably it was a real Bigfoot or a skunk ape. Please let us know if any one of you knows more about it. 3-legged doe. Trail cameras are not only meant to evidence unique creatures or unbelievable activities, but sometimes they can also record such animals that are struggling hard for their lives. For instance, look at this tripod that was spotted striving with its 3 legs as she was missing nearly all of her left foreleg below the knee joint. The buck was appreciative for living a productive life for more than 4 years. The person who had her first image claimed that she had also given birth every year since. Because what remains of the doe's leg appeared to be normal, it was assumed that she had lost the lower parts to injury in her youth. Bear versus mirror. Mirrors in jungles are installed to study the cognitive ability of animals to self-direct their image. But a trail cam captured amusing footage of a shocked bear after seeing its reflection in the mirror for the first time. The giant noticed the mirror on a pole in the woods and got startled by his own image. Then he leapt away from his reflection before peeping again to see if there was another animal. It swiftly walked to the mirror's back to knock down his opponent. but unable to find one. And then, in a fit of rage, it dragged the mirror to the floor while still looking for its competitor. Pigs versus bear. Mary and Hammy, the two pigs living in New Milford, became famous for the bravery they showed when a hungry black bear decided to make a visit to their pen. The bear investigated the enclosure while Mary could be seen getting ready to face the invader. The hungry animal managed to climb up the fence and dropped himself inside during the second attempt. But when it finally did, Mary immediately charged him. Hearing the commotion, Hammy came running out of the hog house, speared the bear, and pushed him back into the corner. After a few tense moments, the bear managed to hop out, and all three went on about their lives. Meat devourer. What this guy saw at a graveyard was a huge rake-like creature just strolling among the graves. He could not believe his eyes, and continuous chills ran down his spine. Now, as we all know, graveyards have supernatural creatures lurking around, but this one was way too creepy. Just look for yourself. Some people who saw the video suggested that it was some possessed humanoid, where others went way too ahead and said that it was some new flesh-eating creature that was searching for some fresh meat to feast upon. What do you guys think? Ghoulish pedestrian. An ordinary drive turned into a whole new adventure when his family saw this. A weird creature appeared from the roadside bushes and then walked in front of their car on the road. At first, it looked like some long wooden sticks walking on their wall, but the onlooker said it was way more unusual than just that. There's no doubt that it was indeed something with superpowers, because no normal being would dare to come in front of cars on a high at this time of night. I just hope the family got back to their home safe and sound. Unsafe shelter. Now, where can a person go even when homes are not safe from such alarming sights?
Hello? Oh my god!
Every night, this man complained of hearing strange noises from his rooftop, as if someone was talking to himself. Tired of the daily disturbance, he finally gathered some courage and climbed up to see what was the matter. Just as he moved ahead, the moonlight revealed a hunched, human-like figure with its eyes piercing the dark. Shocked, the man staggered backward in shock, fearing the creature might attack at any moment. Fortunately, it was a stroke of luck, as the eerie entity disappeared into the air, but still, the memory of the encounter stayed in his mind, haunting him long after the incident. Polar panic. A snowy expedition turned into a chilling encounter for this traveler who came across this creature from some other planet. As the man was searching for his lost watch on the snowy grounds, he met something completely unexpected. It was a white creature with glowing eyes appearing out of the corner. The guy wouldn't have been so scared if he hadn't looked directly into its eyes, as if it was threatening his life. No one knows what happened next, because the video abruptly ends, probably because the finder dropped his phone in fear. Beast of the Dark. This video will tell you why you should not go looking for your lost dog alone in the woods at night. This woman, who was determined to find her pet, went crazy enough to go and look into the forest at the peak of nighttime. With a flashlight in hand, her footsteps and external light disturbed the beasts inside. And guess what? She had not gone far when out of nowhere, this creature came in front of her. Viewers said it was some kind of new monster in the town, but the woman was sure of it being a werewolf. However, the video just ended abruptly, and we do not know if she made it back home safe or not. And as for the dog, no one knows. Bewitched dolls. Deep within a dense jungle, a hiker had shortly started feeling the weight of being alone when he realized that it was not the case. Yes, he was not really alone, because at the very next moment, he saw shabby dolls tied to the forest trees in an extremely uncanny manner. Their eyes seemed as if devoid of peace. Was it some spot known for black magic rituals or evil cults? Similar to us, the man was scared to his guts, and without exploring any further, changed his route, constantly praying for his safety. You never know what demonic spirit is after you. Freaky dude.
How you doing? Oh.
Driving down a road among the towering trees sounds like a soothing experience, but for this couple, it turned into an eerie encounter with a seemingly normal man. At first, he was walking properly, but when the driver talked to him, he turned into a creepy monster. The unknown man started walking on all fours, and he even changed his gait and posture. The eyewitnesses of the scene suggested that the man might have been possessed or not in the right state of mind.
What's up, dude?
Detection dodged. A video uploaded recently made it damn sure that there was something evil lurking in these woods, allergic to the cameras. So first, you see this strange face with a big nose and messy hair. Then, out of nowhere, the face goes away and grabs the camera, pulling it down and dragging it around on the ground. Well, I must say the creature was pretty clever, as it knew how to dodge being caught on camera. Even though people were curious to know what it was, the yanking of the camera finished their game. Wolfish human. Many of you will say that it's a fake, but why would a human do such an eerie thing deep in the forests at night? Look at this creature with a humanoid figure but black shabby hair all over its body. It was still not that weird until its face was zoomed in on. And did you see how he had these strange facial features not showing any resemblance with humans? It looked more like a werewolf with teeth, ready to grind its prey. People would have dismissed it as a wild animal if it had not shown continuous appearances in the woods, crawling indifferently, making that area a no-go zone. Nightfall terror. After seeing all the above videos, we can't deny that the woods are home to some of the most unimaginable things. And here's another video proving the same. This eerie encounter was filmed around 3 a.m. in a remote area of a dense forest. A man had set a camera to capture beautiful wildlife, but what he saw was this. Countless guesses were made, but no one knew what it was. Some said that the creature could be 3 meters tall. And let me tell you, this was not the first time locals have reported something strange in the forest. Ominous gator. Filmed somewhere in the southwest of Florida, here we have a swamp lover. And by swamp lover, you can already be sure that it's some sort of a reptile, with glowing eyes and terrifying features. This gator was seen crawling creepily in the muddy lands, marking its territory. To be honest, I was scared that it would suddenly open its monstrous jaws any time and smash the camera in a second, but this leviathan had greater plans. It simply took no interest in the trail cam and passed swiftly through the damp swamp, carrying its armored, muscular tail. Midnight meal. This time, it's not a trail cam, but an innocent critter becoming the victim of a wild predator that was ambushing it from behind. This trail camera, installed at an unknown location, shows a deer grazing at midnight without any idea of it being stalked by its death. As hiding behind the bushes was a ferocious predator who, after setting a target, jumped into the air and landed directly on the jugular vein of the deer, directly on point. Both the prey and predator fell into the nearby bushes, and we could see the deer becoming lifeless under the powerful jaws of a cougar. All we could do was feel sad for the deer, whose midnight snack took an unexpected turn. Swooped neck. This video is certainly not for people who love deers. This man, too, is an animal lover because he came out of his car to help a panicked deer. But what he saw coming next from the dark bushes was another adult stag. But unlike the previous, this one was not normal. Just look at its crooked neck and the sudden jerks with which it is moving. Although deer have always been dear to humans, this guy was scared for real and just dashed back to his car. What do you guys think? Was the poor soul possessed, injured, or a victim of some really terrible disease? Unknown hiker. After an adventurous hiking trip, a crew excitedly reviewed their footage, only to stumble upon something they never expected. In the background of their shots lurked a mysterious figure with a huge black body with shabby hair, walking on 2 feet like a muscular macho man. The discovery made the boys go mad in terror. Some couldn't shake the feeling, haunted by nightmares of the creature. Was it truly a Bigfoot that they had hiked with? The footage left them with more questions than answers, but it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime hiking experience. Bigfoot on a snowy trail. Usually lurking behind the dense trees, this time a dark giant decided to arrive on a snowy trail. While filming a bike ride in the west of Colorado, a young rider noticed a massive, hairy beast standing on the cliff just off the trail. He was still trying to figure out what it was when it started moving, probably because the beast had sensed being watched. The guy said he was still sure of it being a Bigfoot and quickly drove away from there. He later informed the wildlife authorities about such dangerous brutes lurking around. After all, none of us would want to go on a snow trail and spot a Bigfoot. Creep Crusher. This video is a perfect lesson about why one should never go strolling alone in deserted places. The snap was taken by the man who went for a walk in the woods, thinking it would be a fun adventure. But oh boy, was he in for a surprise. At first, he thought he saw a cow walking towards him on the trail.
Is that a cow? What is that?
But guess what? That wasn't a cow at all. It was something super spooky and unimaginable. It looked like a rake, but not the kind you use in your garden. This rake seemed to be on the lookout for anyone who dared to intrude in its woods. As it was never too late, the walker dashed back to the highway, swearing not to return to this spot ever again for the rest of his life.
Oh, frick!
Terror Track. Here we are back with another road incident at midnight. While driving through the forest at night, the man heard chilling sounds. Hoping to film some unique animals, the driver started recording. But do you know what he saw? It was not some amusing animal, but rather a humanoid figure with pale skin that was running on all fours. At that moment, he thought that he saw something wrong. But when he checked his phone later on, it appeared to be some sort of a Wendigo or perhaps a rake. If not an animal, this guy had at least captured something odd. Galaxy Guy. Remember when government officials announced the presence of alien life forms in real life? Well, here's one of those beings roaming in the forests. A curious individual was exploring the depths of the jungle when he came across this strange sight. A figure emerged from the tall grass as if trying to find its way. Its head resembled the shape of a broken tree and had a slender body as if fasting for ages. Before the audience could make any guesses, the person who filmed it suggested that it was an alien escaped from Area 51. Whatever the case was, it was certainly not human. Antler Aggression. Last March, a man set up a trail camera deep in the Canadian woods to explore forest habitats for his research. But who knew that an unknown animal would just come in and try to get it off the site? Look at this creature trying to dislodge the camera from the tree. When you look closer, it seems like a curious deer. Maybe it saw the camera's flash at night and got interested, or it might just want to scratch its antlers. Through all of this, one thing was certain. The cameraman's money had been well spent. Uncanny Culprit. As everyone was busy handling a grim situation, no one noticed this strange creature sitting close to the scene of the tragedy. Let's zoom in. It had inhumanly pale skin and a weird posture. Surprisingly, even the person recording the video could not notice what he was recording. It was a few days later that the video was seen again, and everyone was left shocked. Many debated that it was more than possible that this strange creature had been the cause of the accident that day, and then peacefully sat on the other side of the road to witness the calamity he had caused. Mysterious dark figure. A trail camera installed in an unknown location recorded a mysterious dark figure emerging from a dark background and walking to the other side. The owner of the trail camera got flabbergasted by his camera recording and posted the video on social media to let the netizens guess. For some Bigfoot fans, the hairy giant monster walking alone in the woods could be nothing but a Bigfoot, but the rest of the people suggested it might be a huge ape or something like that. Well, any guesses from your side? Because the owner of the video is still trying to name that mysterious figure. Golden Eagle flew with fox. This amazing video began with a golden eagle sitting on the edge of a cliff, and under its sharp talons, we can see its prey, with fur scattered around the ground. And then this majestic bird flew away with a fox in its grasp and vanished from the scene. This incredible moment shows off the crazy strength of a golden eagle, as this giant bird has been known to take down animals far bigger than foxes. In fact, some of these birds can put down other large animals, but here, the fox was already dead. That's why it was an effortless flight for the massive raptor. Kingfisher beak stuck. A video posted in February last year became a center of concern for many bird lovers. The short clip shows a man approaching a tiny kingfisher hanging to a tree with its beak stuck into the tree's trunk. Generally, it was uncommon for a kingfisher to pierce any kind of tree, but since it was a soft-trunked banana tree, the bird might have mistakenly stuck it in while searching for some sweet juices. Fortunately, before getting into a worse situation, the tiny juice lover was spotted by a man who saved the bird's life by pulling out its beak and let the kingfisher free again. Bigfoot. In January 2015, a boy named McCamey claimed to have filmed an unidentifiable dude while canoeing in a swamp near Tampa. According to him, he heard a noise and observed a bizarre movement in the trees. Initially, the giant hairy creature emerged like a bear, but when they moved closer, it started to look less and less like a bear. With its long, swinging arms, it moved through the thick, gator-infested swamp quite easily, whereas bears are not so skilled to do so. He received a number of interesting titles for the unknown creature after posting the encounter evidence, while others just dismissed it by claiming it was a hoax. Either a real skunk ape, a Bigfoot, or simply a person in a costume. Any guesses from your side? Elephant baby rescued. A video posted in June 2017 shows an Asian elephant mother who got quite frightened and sprung into action when her 1-year-old curious calf got too close to the water's edge and accidentally fell into the pool. Although the baby could swim and managed to breathe by putting its trunk out of the water, even the family knew it, yet they rushed to save their calf who was not actually drowning, but brought him out to safety. Since elephants have close familial bonds, this kind of dramatic scene is common among elephants. Even the elephant on the other side of the fence started rapidly pacing back and forth as a part of the close bonding process. Fire Devil. In June 2017, an apocalyptic-looking sight was observed when a rare fire whirl burned within a Portuguese wildfire. This rare phenomenon, known as a devil fire, was captured on a camera while tearing through central Portugal when the country was hit hard by wildfires because of a widespread drought and sent this vortex of fire and ash spiraling into the night sky. The spectacular fire tornado formed due to the mixture of flames and dust and took the shape of a blazing cyclone due to an invisible, rotating pocket of winds. This was one of the worst outbreaks of fire in the history of Portugal and was responsible for ending more than 60 lives. Open discussion. This picture and video were taken on the 23rd of November 2021, showing what's believed to be a real case of werewolf. It was noticed by a hunter who was working hard on locating a deer. Having picked up a trail of fresh deer footprints, he was hoping to track back to a decent-sized animal, only instead to discover this huge, big bad werewolf who already had remains of the deer in its jaws. The beast also happened to spot the hunter and curiously started trailing him. With the hunter being good at evasion, he did manage to lose the chasing werewolf after spending hours trying to escape it. The only thing that could be worse than spotting a werewolf is encountering one while it's preying. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.